Hey guys, welcome to the Real Life with Queen V show. And today I have a dope, super radio personnel. But first, let me introduce you to my co-host.
Highway, Black Sam. You know who it is.
Period. Okay, you better welcome him back. Y'all already know. Now look, hold on. Let me welcome Jay Rood from K104.
What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
Hey, okay, tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Dallas.
Okay, born and raised.
Born and raised.
All right, so how long have you been in the music industry?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to say since 99.
Ooh. And I think I heard that you started out like as a DJ.
Yeah. Started out actually throwing parties in college.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Prairie View. Working with artists before I even got in the radio. Matter of fact, I was working with different studios. Shout out to Mike Mood Swing. He used to run the Texas Summer Music Conference, Coast to Coast Records. I was connecting a lot of DJs that didn't have nowhere to record, nowhere to take their music. Back then, wasn't no streaming back then. You still had to go touch people.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like the young guy that was connecting people. You know what I mean? So,
And you just happen to get those connections.
Yeah, just from meeting people. Like I know a lot of people. Like when I moved around a lot. Like I lived in Cedar Hill, Duncanville, graduated from DeSoto. So I knew a lot of cluster of the people that was already moving and shaking.
Okay.
So music was always my love. Like, you know what I mean? I always loved parties, the DJing, that aspect of creating something new.
Okay.
So even back then, man, you had to physically, even in high school, I remember that we would run on Tuesdays the Big T. Whoever had the No Limit album first, you was the dope man in school. So like back in the day, shoot, oh, you want this? Shoot, I'll burn it for you, give me $10.
Uh-huh.
So I was already, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in the music industry. I actually told Master P this story too. So, but yeah, like that was the thing of who had the new No Limit album for the cover or Do or Die. Man, I put people on a lot of music in school, so I just kind of grew a passion for it.
Yeah.
So when you started doing the DJing thing, why did you switch over to radio?
Actually, man, shout out to Throwdown Sam, man. I met Throwdown Sam, and we just clicked right out. Actually, my best friend. So I just started kicking it with him. And back then, you know, he was on Skip Murphy and Company. He was one of the biggest DJs out here on radio as a youngster. So when I came home from college, every day I'm with Throwdown. I'm riding in the truck with Throwdown. He like, man, you with me every day. Let me show you the game. Right. So, man, radio back then was bananas.
Yeah.
Back then, it was three things that mattered in Dallas: the Mavericks, the Cowboys, and K104.
Yeah.
So being around Throwdown, man, and just going to the club every day with him, carrying the crates of records every day, lugging. I'm like, man, this is real work. He like, yeah, I'm gonna show you how to. He actually taught me the in and out of the radio. So I just started interning with the radio station. Shout out to Skip Cheatham, who actually gave me a shot. I mean, the rest was history.
So what you miss about the old generation versus now what you have to do?
I think the hustle of it.
Right. That is it too, though.
The hustle of it. And I think a lot of it's too easy for you to get the music, which is oversaturating the game. And I think a lot of problem with artists that they don't really know how to market themselves. But I think they forget about relationships matter more than anything. Mm-hmm. A lot of artists that you see popping, and they wonder like, oh man, well, I can't get this, why am I on radio or this and that, because you skipped a major step in building relationships with the people that matter. Uh-huh. And I think that's where the main communication breakdown from the top, from the PDs to the GMs, and even to the labels, there's no A&Rs no more. Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's hard to build that customer relationship for some?
I really think it's just it's not being taught.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you do know that game, you're considered a dinosaur. And, you know, the label game has changed a lot in the last 2 years. You know, a lot of these label people don't even know they own artists.
Yeah.
I called somebody at Epic, one of my good people, and I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to get in touch with such. So he like, who is that? I'm like, it's your artist. Oh, you know, it's no relationships. They don't have a relationship with the artist. It's all about plug and play. And we use that example. They want to plug into somebody that's already moving, connected with the machine, and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no development. So a lot of artists don't know how to develop themselves.
Right.
It's not being taught.
Right. Okay.
So do you think the shows, like the artist development shows like we used to do back in the day, do you think they still would be needed right now?
Most definitely, and it needs to come back. Because, you know, and you know, you was around, that's how B King got known in Dallas.
Right.
When we were doing shows, and you was doing shows, there was a group, I forget their name, going around performing Crush. And, you know, they were every week. And then one of my partners was like, hey, man, that's not their record. That's my boy from Houston record.
Stolen.
And so we got on the phone with B King. He came to Dallas, and he was never not in Dallas since. And that became so the connection of show performance, building relationship with the DJs, the promoters. It's not a thing anymore.
Do you feel like the artists think that they're too big? Like some of these artists feel like they're already it. They're big headed and they don't want to listen.
Right. And again, I just think that comes from them not knowing.
Okay.
I think that's come from them. They don't have somebody that's been in the game or know the game in their corner. So they don't know not to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and you can tell with somebody that really know what they're doing in the game.
So you think the influencers, like the internet influencers, are they more important than the radio?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
They got a big buzz, like they be putting people out there a lot more.
No. Shout out to Lester Pace. You know, he used to work for Rock Nation. Lester's the man. He created a lot of movements out here.
Right.
And he posted something the other day that radio is still the number one source of getting your music heard. Out of all the streaming platforms, radio is still, because here's the difference. You can get a buzz and TikTok and this and that. Cool. That little, you know, you might get pop and do little shows, but radio is the difference from you performing in clubs to performing in arenas.
Right.
Okay.
Think about it. If you're shout out to T.I. would let him know. He has the number one record on the charts.
Right.
For like 3-4 weeks in a row. But it's T.I. But he had to work that record like he a new artist.
Thanks.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day is his main goal was touching radio. Shout out to Juvie. Same way.
Yeah.
His main goal was, I got to touch the DJs. I got to get this popping on the radio. Because, Juvie stayed booked. He stayed booked. But now he's popping on the radio. He going to be booked in arenas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So how long have you been in radio, for everybody that doesn't know?
I'm going to just say well over 20 years.
Crazy.
Like I said, I started interning officially around about 2000.
What do you think kept you in the game? Because a lot of people get tired. Like they can't get those hours. They can't, elevate. They're like, I got to just find something else to do.
Well, to be honest, I just think that, you have to create something. What do you want to do in radio? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, well, I just want to make money. I just want to be the man. Well, you can't start from being a man, especially in Dallas, man. We got so many legendary people. When I started in radio, you got to understand, Greg Street was here. Skip Murphy and company was here. Reggie D. I remember when DJ Felly fell in LA was here. So Throw Down Sam, Melda Mac. So I really learn from the pioneers of the game. So early in the game, I just wanted to touch people, be in the street, party, live. But then it was like, oh, shout out to Nate Quick too, man. RIP. He really pulled me to the side. Like, you got to decide like what you want to do in radio. You don't want to be on the street team. You want to be on the air. You want to produce. And I'm like, man, I think I want to be. I know what's missing from radio. Oh, I want to do this. I would listen to every show. All the major shows across the country. I'm like, man, this is missing. This is missing. And just think what they can do if they do this.
Right.
And that's where the producing side came in. And that's where my passion became.
Okay.
Like now, even being still an on-air personality, that producer side, that's still what brings that spark.
Okay.
What's a moment on the mic that you wish you can take back? And don't shade it. Come on, keep it real.
You mean just like on radio or?
Radio. Period. Just any experience you had.
I really don't. Let me see. Probably like my first time on the radio, right? So when I started on the radio, we used to have to go live. It wasn't no recording. When we was in the streets, we used to have to go live. So I remember my first day, like, yeah, I'm finna do this and that. I'm gonna pull up in the truck. I'm gonna put all these people. I'm gonna be hyped, man. I'm finna do the best break they've ever seen at K104. So before you go on air, you call into the studio like, hey, how long got? All right, you going out to this commercial? You got 30 seconds. Cool. Got my headphones on. Got the mic. Pull up. Hold on. They like, well, you gotta wait 30 minutes now. We got something else. Somebody called in. All right, cool. So let me drive to another location. I went to Rudy's. Man, I swear it was about 70 people out there. I'm like, oh, shoot. I got to put all these people on radio. So I'm like, damn, now I'm nervous. Because before it was only like 3 people I was finna put on. Now it's about 70 people just pulling up. I'm like, dang. So I'm kind of, hey, man, can I pre-record it? No, you got to go live. We don't have time to record. Dang. So it was my time. I just froze.
Right.
And they kicked it to me street. I just froze. And I was like, dang, I know I'm fired. I didn't say anything. And it was just like the instrumental was playing, then they kicked, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, dang, I know I'm fired. And I think it wasn't more fright. It's just like, I think I was overthinking it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I want to put everybody on the radio, but I only put 2 people. I only got 30 seconds to talk live. And I was just overthinking it.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Fly Ty, who was with me at the time. He was like, see, it ain't as easy as you think, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's not.
So did you go to school at all? How did you learn to work the board? That motherfuckers, there's something going on.
I'm going to be honest. So it came a time, because when I started, when I was around K104, we still had carts we had to load.
Oh, sure.
So for every music, every commercial, you had to change the cart. So that's how I learned loading carts. So when they switched over to digital board, I'm like, man, I ain't even learning that. So, but it came to time, like, Skip was like, hey, do you know how to run the board? I'm like, yeah. I remember when Cat Daddy first came.
Uh-huh. Shout out to Cat Daddy.
And that was my first time running the board. And I told Skip Cheatham, yeah, I know how to run the board. I'm good. Had no clue. I jumped out there. So he like, all right, this weekend, you going to run the board for Cat Daddy. I'm like, bet. Man, I'm calling people, hey, breathe. I need to know how to learn. Man, teach me how to run the board. They like, what? I got to work for Cat. He like, oh, man, you finna get fired. I'm like, dang. So I'm in there. I took a crash course. And, if you know Cat Daddy, he like perfection.
Yes.
Man, I crashed his show so bad. Skip like, I thought you knew how to run the board. I'm like, man, something must be wrong with the board. That ain't how I learned. But that, over the time, he like, I'm going to give you 1 week to really learn the board.
Right.
What did you do? What you got on YouTube?
No, it wasn't no YouTube then. It wasn't no YouTube
So who
then.
taught you? You just got in there.
My boy Breeze, my boy G-Man, my boy Mel the Mac. I was around them all day. I mean, I remember staying at the station all day, all night, just learning board and that the rest was history.
Sick. So do you feel like somebody has to go to school to be able to work that board these days, or somebody
Not
can just
at
work
all.
their way in?
And nothing against broadcasting school, because shout out to Trey G. He actually went the path of going to broadcasting school, and it's paying off. He's on DD in the morning. So big shout out to Trey G. But a majority of people did not go to school for radio. You know, so no, I don't feel like in this day of time, and again, I feel like people look to hire influencers. I mean, you look at all the podcasts, and I just feel like you can learn on the go, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like, yeah, I went to school for radio. No, 90% of the people in radio did not go to school for radio. It's just the opportunities.
In this business, what does it look like for you to be winning?
Man, I think that's based on your own goals. I know I've touched every goal that I want to touch in radio, or in this industry that I wanted to do. I worked with artists. I helped build careers. I kind of think it's just based on what are your goals in radio, because everybody's path is different. Right.
On some real, like, does this being on the radio and the personality affect your family?
No, man. I think
y'all ain't never had no turbulence about you going all the time.
No, and shout out to my wife Brittany. She supports me all the way, and I think my kids benefited more than I do. Right. And that's the joy that I have now. So just like when there's an artist that comes to radio, and hey, you know this artist? They're like, nah. But if it's an artist that they like, I'm like, all right. Y'all come up here, and then they do the little TikToks with the artists on the song. So that's the joy that I get from the radio, to letting my kids meet who they really love. Right.
Do you work overnight, or do you work like in the daytime?
So I produce Bebe's show Monday through Friday, when we're on there at 3 to 7. Number one afternoon show. But I have my own show called The After Party, which is Sunday morning from 12 to 5. I've been doing that for a while, and I like overnight because you get a little loose on the overnight. You know what I mean? Get away with a little more than I can during the daytime.
Do people really listen to the radio like overnight?
Yeah, and surprisingly you would think they wouldn't.
Right, you're right.
But you catch all the people coming from the clubs or people at work, and I think you just really got to know how to tap in and connect with the people to make them listen.
What was that moment where you was like, man, I'm done with this shit?
2021. 2021. And during the show, when the pandemic hit, they were like, look, if you don't have to be on the air, nobody come to the station. And so at that time during the pandemic, we were shut down. So the only person that actually came in the studio every day was Bebe. Bebe like, man, I can't sit at home. I'm a hustler. Like, I gotta touch the people. They were like, nah, baby, you can't come in the studio. He like, well, I ain't gonna be on the radio. So they had to make an exception for Bebe. And of course, if Bebe there, I gotta be there. I produce the show. So it was just me and Bebe at the station during the pandemic. Nobody else came. So they were like, well, since you're gonna be here anyway, you might as well run both shows, from the midday show to the afternoon. And I think that kind of just burnt me out, like really running K104 and 105 every day for 10 hours a day. And one day I was like, you know what? Man, I need a break, man. I'm gone. They were like, you're not leaving. I left.
So what would you call the best relationship between you and the radio?
As far as
like why you like it? Or fell in love with it?
I feel like I grew up in radio, to be honest.
Because of the DJ?
Yeah, like I've seen so many classic moments. And it's very rare that somebody in the top market is there for as long as I've been. So shout out to my boy Breeze, shout out to Cat Daddy. G, man, I think they're the only other people that's been there as long as I have. And I mean, again, I've seen radio change in so many factors. Right. Like, so I just think that is all I really know.
Do you feel like that your passion is what brought you back when you quit or when you left?
No, I'm gonna be honest. What brought me back was Bebe.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So that relationship right there, you know what I'm saying? Does that feel like, because Baby like a celebrity? Does that make you feel like a celebrity? Does your kids make you feel like a celebrity?
My daughter Cece does. Jillian, she's like me. She's just a go flow. Like people like tell her teacher at school or kids, I didn't know your dad working radio. She was like, yeah.
Right.
But my daughter Cece, I meet her teacher. Oh yeah, Cece told me you're in K104 this and that. I'm like, but yeah, I never felt like that. I don't know if it's my personality. And what's so crazy about it, like
so humble.
When I'm not on the radio, I'm kind of an introvert. Like I'm just at the house. I enjoy barbecuing, cooking, just being with the fam. Like, I mean, I could be in the studio every day with Bebe, and it could be anybody from Rick Ross to Birdman. Oh, shit. Just FaceTiming him, and it's just crazy. I'm so nonchalant because I've been around it so long.
So what was the worst encounter you had with a celebrity?
Man, I hate to put.
You don't gotta name them. You can just give the experience.
Probably, and this celebrity has a talk show now. She came to perform, and she was pregnant. She came to perform I think it was called the Nokia at the time in Grand Prairie. And we had to be there all day, help set up and this and that. And she was just real rude to her own staff and rude to us. And I'm like, hey, I got a 0 on 100 attitude. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, nobody work for you. I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. So it's like we kind of got into it. And then like where her management had to come and apologize, she's pregnant. I'm like, I don't give a. We don't, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't want to put her name out there.
You feel like you went overboard though when you got frustrated?
No, because at the end of the day I don't care who you are, because I've been around. I've met Oprah Winfrey. I've hung out with Prince, and the humbleness of Prince. It's like if Prince can sit and talk and have a conversation with me in the club, like. I don't care how famous you are, because I've always been taught you treat the janitor with respect like you do the CEO.
Right.
Because you never know who that person you're treating is going to come to the top one day.
What was your most humbling moment?
Man, I think probably where we had to go. One time we went to Austin, and it was a label party. And, I'm young in the game. I'm like, man, I'm with K104. Everybody know who K104 is. I'm big dog, this and that. I'm in the game. I'm in the party. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm with K104. I'm on the list, man. Come on, man. Well, I'm VIP. Like, you got me out here standing outside, this and that, whoop, whoop, And I'm like, man, come on, man. I'm just really popping it, feeling myself, showing out. The owner came out and said, what's your name? And I'm like, yeah, I'm J Rudd. You don't know me? I'm on K104, this and that in Dallas. Right. You're like, oh yeah, I know exactly who you are. And I know who hired you too. Matter of fact, you stand outside of this club for about 2 hours. And if we feel like letting you in, you might get in. Oh, so I'm watching all these people, J Rudd just walk by, J Rudd, like, you can't get in? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, well, dang. That's how I learned to, like, you can't. No matter your status, man, you got to be a real humble person because anything could change at any time.
Facts, for sure. So as a producer, what's your creative process like?
So you, as a producer, man, you really got to understand. And I got to say, like, it's very hard to produce somebody like a Bebe because a lot of, from different shows, just say if you talk about, and every show is all about talking about what's going on in the headlines every day. That's you have to talk about the content. Right. But a lot of people in the radio are not connected to these artists personally. So I think the biggest challenge was, okay, how can I get Bebe to talk about what's going on every day and not feel that he's talking bad about his friends or people he has a relationship? Because at the end of the day be honest, Bebe don't need radio. He has his own empire outside of radio.
Yes, definitely.
So I think you got to tap in with, and I've never seen this guy have a bad day.
Really?
Never. I think I started producing Bebe's show in 2008. I've never seen Bebe come in and have a bad day, even when he's having a bad day.
Right.
I've never seen somebody with so much energy. And I think the biggest challenge was every day is how can I get Bebe to channel all the energy and be a real life personality on the radio. So I think because we do a segment called the Rumor Report every day. And I kind of know Bebe's personality. Okay, we got to talk about this. But I'll flip it like, hey, this is how we're going to flip it so it don't sound like this and that, like you bashing your people, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to get back. So I think that's the biggest challenge every day, what to talk about and what not to talk about on air.
So do you feel like the character that you go into when you're on the radio, do you ever take that home?
No, be honest, I'm the same person. And I don't have, I'm be honest, I don't know. I guess it's just me. I've never because I see it all the time. I've never developed, okay, if I'm on air, I've never developed a different character.
Right.
And I've always learned from the people in the game that your best personality comes out when you're being yourself. And I've really studied radio over the years. I've learned from some of the best people that ever did it. The best program directors, the best general managers, people who have built millions into this industry. So the best advice that I've always heard was you have to be yourself. Because when I first was going, hey, can't win for this, and Skip pulled me. I'm like, hey, that's not you. You're trying to be somebody you're not. Just be yourself.
Right.
So I've always been J-Rud.
So I heard you do voiceovers.
Yeah, I do.
What made you get into that industry of doing voiceovers?
Money.
Uh-huh.
Just money.
Was it hard to sign up, or was it hard to get into the game? Because I heard it's kind of like a little process.
I think it's about the relationships. I think when I first started, it was like I will offer my voice to promoters, hey, you gonna do commercials, man? Well, I'll voice it for you for free. So the more they heard you, the more they spent time on. Hey, you that's you voice that? Hey, can you do mine? All right, yeah. How much? Free. You what? So then when you're getting known in different spots, that's when the bags start coming.
Right.
So, but yeah, I just originally did it because I wanted the extra money.
So you never went to those apps online and paid the $400 and then auditioned, and you always just went to the streets. That was a smart run.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big social media guy. I'm not a big internet guy. I'm come from the old cloth, to be honest.
I'm gonna go do the groundwork.
Yeah.
Right. So what hustle did you have to create when you saw how the industry changed to keep your revenue coming in?
Man, social media. And my wife gets on me all the time. You don't post enough. I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. I think Bebe is the only one that really convert. Because I hate the internet. People man, hey man, why you didn't repost what I saw? I'm like, what stuff? I said, man, I don't check my Instagram like that.
When you start getting to some real paper, the internet become obsolete. You be like, fuck the internet.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, and this is what I hate about social media. Particularly if you get a buzz or somebody gets a buzz in Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. And you look up, they're right here. Now all of a sudden here come the social media trolls to bring them back down.
Right.
They got too high. We got to bring them back down. I just hate the fakeness of social media.
Right. Me too.
If I see a post and people talking about their opinion of something like a Dallas beef or anything, and I'm like, that's not even nowhere close to, I just hate it. Yeah. I've never been a social media guy.
Why do you think most artists complain about the Dallas market?
Because they don't have the relationships.
Yes.
And I'm be honest, they do not have the relationships. And And people gotta understand we're the number 4 market in the country. So it's not like you're in a small town. Dallas is the number 4 market in the country.
But you don't see a lot of artists get to that pinnacle versus other cities and states.
Well,
They don't. So do you feel like Dallas don't support their own?
I definitely. And that goes for radio too.
Well,
Yeah.
why?
Powers to be.
What would you do to change it? Like if you seen everything that's going on, you being the person you is, what could you do to change it?
Just give more opportunity, educate more people. I mean, and even with the whole boogie movement, I was a major part of that.
Right.
I was a major part of breaking down those barriers from the club music to the radio. Because that whole boogie music, and shout out to Skip for actually listening and taking the chance. Because even with Dero, like Dero recorded Ice Cream Paint Job in my apartment.
Oh, shit.
That's where the song was recorded.
That was the song, remember?
Yeah.
And that wasn't even a record he was pushing. We were, after Walk That Walk, and shout out to Mel the Mac because that was my other best friend. And he was pushing the song called Caramel Sunday. And so we were trying to connect Dero down here because he was already big in PV. Like him, Superstar, Party Boys, they already had their own little movement. But in Dallas, they just didn't have the relationship with radio. So I remember we almost threw our jobs on the line. Like, look, we finna start getting these down. We finna get the artists on the radio.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. I think because just watching Stank GS Boys, like I forgot what BET show it was where they were performed on it again, man, it just made me smile because I remember in the living room, sitting with all them in their living room with their parents when they had deals on the table, you know what I mean? And trying to figure out, their own lane. I remember when I brought the Party Boys up to the radio station, like, hey, what do y'all want to do, man? We just want to get known. This is before Flex even came out. Baby C, Damn D. I remember us when Damn D didn't even have that song clean. We literally cleaned it up for him to throw it on the radio.
Right.
So just being a part of that history, and I'm a guy that don't really like, hey, I need the recognition because I've always been a low key behind the scenes guy. Like I make my money behind the scenes. I like to still, like I always tell Baby this, I like to still be able to go in the stores and ain't got to take pictures and get stopped every 5 minutes, but still being part of the music history. So I think that even now, I would give more artists opportunity on radio, but also provide them a way to connect with us.
So you think the relationship between the radio and the artist is better than them actually pursuing the radio head on? Because it's hard to get on radio.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't even know who you need to talk to get on radio.
It's a lot of money to get on radio too.
Yeah, and that's with any marketing. And I hate the fact that people look at, oh man, it costs so much to get on radio. Well, at the end of the day is you got to learn to do your research. First of all, who is in charge of putting the music on the radio?
Right.
It's only one person on K104.
And who's that?
That's George Cook. He's the program director, operations manager. But so when I hear artists come like, man, y'all don't play my music, this and that, I'm like, that means nothing to me because that's not my position.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I mean, we've almost came to blows.
Can you present the music to a George?
That's all the time.
Yeah.
That's every
like
day.
it, or it's just
I presented so much, even with the new Dallas music movement. I don't have a relationship with nobody in New Dallas. Well, I take that back. Shout out to Huncho, Amir.
Okay, Huncho.
yeah.
I'm real good friends with his dad and Corey from Clout. But I just, I advocate for these guys. That don't mean I pick up the phone like, hey, man, I'm doing this for y'all, this and that. No. So we've had plenty of conversations like, Jill, yeah. We need to come on, man. We need to support these artists. And shout out to Hit That too, man. He has a street swag on Sunday. But you got to understand, it takes more opportunity for artists to get on radio, man. And again, if one thing is important, man, you got to build relationships. Right. Because even if you're signed, that doesn't mean you don't have the relationships.
So that old saying means a lot. It ain't about what you know, it's who you know. It's
definitely about who you know. And it don't take much to pop out, because I was at the Vertigo the other day, and just it was a lot of, and I'm like, dang, every DJ in this room is every artist needs to be.
Yeah, I heard it was lit.
It was lit, but the artist that need to be there wasn't there.
The separation between the artist and the DJ now is big. Like, they don't even be looking to the DJ no more.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, because who's going to play your music?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you had to have, you know what I'm saying, a club song, a song for the girls, a song for the streets. Yeah. Now they're not even producing that. Everybody want to get a dance or get some TikTok famous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they looking for the quick money route. You know what I mean? And TikTok, you know, they looking like, oh, man, he blew up on TikTok, this and that.
Like that girl, the one that did the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Like, she just got on her, said like freaking one sentence, and she doesn't, you know, congratulations to her, but she doesn't look the part. I mean, you wouldn't think. But she ate from TikTok. So everybody's going to TikTok. Like, if she can look like that, I can get on too.
And there's nothing wrong with going that route. But at the end of the day, it's like, once you have a viral song, then what?
Yeah, remember you used to say that?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I still feel the same way. They messed over the game when they took away CDs and stuff like that. Because the pure hustlers like me, I was able to reach a lot of people. Now when you go to streaming, like these kids these days, I'm not hating, but they understand the internet. Yeah. They understand how the metrics work with all this techie shit. You know what I'm saying?
And you gotta understand this, and I might be throwing a number out, but it's like over 600,000 songs downloaded every day on streaming. Even myself, I might check my email and I have 15, 20 records from the labels by artists. I'm be honest, I'm not finna listen to all these records.
Streaming don't pay.
It doesn't pay.
Man, we used to get $5 to $10 for a CD.
If you see Snoop Dogg complaining about having these billions of streams,
45,000 for a billion.
But you gotta understand, somebody's getting that check.
Yeah. Tory Lane said it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, people getting paid $15,000 to $25,000 for me a week.
Yeah. Sure. Something definitely have to change, and I think Jimmy Iovine is low key behind the scenes, is trying to bring back that revenue stream away from streaming. But you know, I think that with AI, it's too far gone. So it just has to be some type of middleman to get, because artists, man, they're missing out on so much money.
But it also comes to with intelligence too, knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
A lot of artists don't know the contracts, don't know exactly where they're going at. They just want to rap.
Which is crazy, because at the end of the day, man, I've seen so many relationships deteriorate because of that paperwork.
Right.
But I'm like, you signed the paperwork.
Yeah, but don't you think that's like taking advantage of a person?
Oh, that's paperwork. That's why you don't sign the paperwork, and if you don't agree with it.
Definitely it's business. But at the same time, when you go to a person that you're seeing that they don't have it mentally, and they just a rapper, that's a good person to say, like, man, like, look, don't do that. Don't sign that right now. Would you do that for them?
Yeah, of course, but that's me.
Right.
I've done a lot of things for artists without even wanting anything in return.
That's a good thing.
Because at the end of the day, I'm all about being able to sleep at night.
Right.
But I've also seen artists complain about deals they signed.
You can't turn back from that.
Because at the end of the day, Highway, if I sign you right now and I say, I want 35% of your streaming, I'm putting the money up. Okay? And this is a real artist story. I put $1 million behind a song, and I say, I want 35%, this and that, this and that. You're not known, but all of a sudden, now you're popping. You're one of the biggest artists in the world, but now you want to renegotiate before your album even comes out.
Yeah, because you got the machine behind you now.
Right. But is that fair to the person that already put up $1 million to help push
they
you?
should recoup it.
Yeah.
I was just asking for just decent human beings to be involved.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of times that artists sign these deals with the intention not realizing that they may blow up.
Right.
And they're just looking at they're looking like, okay, well, he's on this label with QC, Lil Baby, this and that. Well, I want to be around Lil Baby. I want to drive the whips and this and that. They want the fame, bless you. They want the fame and this and that. And they just signing paperwork away. But at the end of the day, like, it don't cost a lot of money to, bless you, invest into a real entertainment attorney. Like, hey, look, this contract is not good for you.
Right.
Yeah. If just like I think I forgot who was it, Mano or somebody did an interview the other day. Like, if a label give you an $800,000 advance for an album, and you the biggest artist in the world, but you got to recoup that $800,000. They got to recoup that, but your album did good, but you didn't pay back the $800,000. So the next album, they give you a bigger budget, $1.5 million. Well, you still haven't paid this $800,000.
They just keep you in debt.
It just keep you in debt. So you kind of have to decide as an artist, do I want to be independent, or do I want a real, and just like how Chris Brown did it. When Chris Brown realized he's the biggest artist of the world, he wrote his contract out. He didn't complain. But when it was time for him to renew the contract, he like, look, I don't want to be an artist. I want to be partners. Yeah. I want to own a percentage. Or I want to own my masters. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the idea that like artists think when they blow up from a song that you're not supposed to honor the contract, but that's not true.
You got to honor what you signed. That's just being G.
Can you tell that they know each other? How long have y'all been knowing each other? Before we get out of here, like, how long have they been knowing each other? He introduced me.
Man, shout out to Fatty Daddy. That's how I met him.
Hey, Fatty Daddy is Honcho's cousin. When he said Honcho,
that's shout out to Big Bro Fatty Daddy, man.
I met him through him. And another associate, Darren.
Yeah, shout out to Darren. I think, what was that, 2010 maybe?
Yeah, about 12. 12? Throwing shows, yeah.
Okay.
In Arlington, you, Kiki J.
Yeah, shout out to Kiki.
Yeah,
that's my big sis.
And the thing about it back then, it was actually a lot of artists tapping in. But even then, artists did not know the process to get known. But artist development, by being in those buildings, you could see them starting to get better.
Yeah.
They performance, like when y'all would come through, like, man, we need stage pressure. You know what I'm saying? You need recognition. You need to be able to serenade the crowd. You know what I'm saying? People not doing that no more. They just getting on the internet, putting stuff out because content sells.
Right. And I think, again, it goes back with artists not knowing the business. Like, you gotta, you want to be on the radio, well, you gotta figure out who's in charge of getting you on the radio.
And do you have the funds for that? Because that is not a cheap.
Like, I can check K104 DMs now, and they'd be like, "Hey, I got this song. I need y'all to play it." But you probably don't even have it registered. Right. So if I play this record, it's not gonna show up on SoundScan in media base because you ain't did the paperwork. So why are we gonna entertain your record?
What you think an artist need as a budget to get him started?
It just depends on what you do.
He got a hit song. Say it's then took off on TikTok, Facebook, all those platforms.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, like, if you got a hit song, you don't need to look at radio.
Radio gonna come looking for you. I always said that. When you got something nice, all the platforms, everybody gonna look for you. You don't have to look for them.
Because at the end of the day is you need to focus on marketing, you gotta get everybody. When I pull up Instagram, I need to see your record playing on all these sites. You have to put your marketing in social media marketing. You have to go out and spend money with the DJs. As far when I say spend money, I mean like really shout out to the heavy hitters. Heavy hitters, one of the biggest DJ coalitions in the game. Shout out to the core DJs. If you don't know who Tony Neal is, if you don't know who Troy Marshall is, Troy Marshall is one of the probably independent person that connect your music to the radio. Right. If you don't know these people, Shadow in New York, if you don't know these people, then you're not doing nothing in the game. Yeah, you're losing. You got to connect yourself with the button pushers that actually can connect to whatever you're trying to do.
So you know that the game got messed up when they took away mixtapes and stuff like that.
Right.
Like what his name was? DJ D-Real. People like that. And
man, shout out to D-Real because D-Real don't get the respect that he has.
Put a lot of artists on, man.
Including Mo 3.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Including Mo 3.
Yeah, for real.
All right. So before we get out of here, people want to link up with you. They want any kind of like, they want to come in and just kind of talk to you, get some kind of, what are the next steps that I can take? How can they get a hold of you? Where can they find you at?
Man, you can hit me on Instagram, DJJRudd, DJJRUDD, man. I'm open. I talk to anybody. Or, leave a message for me at K104. I'm going to call you back because you never know who that next star is.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm Queen V. And before we get out of here, let my co-host do his thing.
Highway. And if you need to move, SNS Relocation Services, you can find me on Google profile or my website, snsrelocationservices.com. And I also do junk removal. And I also have a cleaning business service that you can get in touch with me if you need your commercial building cleaned professionally.
Entrepreneur.
Ain't he doing his thing,
man,
right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yes, sir. 360, for sure. All right, you guys. I'm Queen V. Don't forget, you are him, she is you. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. The word impossible literally says impossible. So what are you doing? Go get what's for you. All right, I'm Queen V. See you later.